All right, guys, and without further ado, we are ready for Thunderthon 2021, starting off with TaintedTali and 102 Dalmatians. Puppies to the rescue. Real quick, though, I'm going to read some quick donations that we had come in flying in before we get started. I get a £5 donation from Ceaselessly. Yay, Thunderthon. Good luck and have fun with the runners and staff. Thank you so much for the donation. Haltist, £28 donation. Gotta save the animals and Meryl. And remember, there are plenty of polls coming up. But now it is time for Tali to take over and lead the charge of the marathon with a very appropriate animal game. Tali, it's all you.
Thank you. Hello, Thunderthon. I hope you're psyched because I'm psyched, and I'm also psyched to be opening this wonderful marathon with 102 Dalmatians, which, like Chad said, is the perfect game because we're raising money for animal charity. So, my name is TaintedTali. I will be running all levels inbounds, which is the name of the category today. Tofu is my commentator. Tofu, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Hi, my name is Tofu8. I am also a speedrunner of this game. I run a little bit of a different category, but this is one of my favorite games, and I'm so happy to be a co-commentator with Tali.
I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm just gonna get started. Before the time starts, we actually do need to go into the game and skip through a few cutscenes. I'm just gonna get started on that real quick, and then I will let Tech know when the time starts, because time starts when I get control of my puppy in this game. So it doesn't start when you click new game like some other games do. That is fine, it's not too hard to get in there. So time starts in, let's see, load screen, there we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, this is 102 Dalmatians, which is actually based on the movie with the same name as the game. So this is a licensed game, which, you know, usually is not very good when you hear a licensed video game, but I would say that this is one of the cases where they actually did get it right. I really love this game. I played this a lot as a kid, and I'm sure Tofu can agree on that front as well.
Yeah, I think it's primarily because they didn't focus on making it exactly like the movie. Like, they kind of let it just be
it's
its own
nothing
game.
like the movie, actually, because, like, what's in the movie? Like, Cruella's, you know, kind, she's been rehabilitated, and, like, she's not after puppies anymore, but this game has nothing like that. And this game, Cruella is trying to start her own toy collection. Apparently that's supposed to be her new thing, but then it turns out her toys doesn't actually sell well. So she's like, you know what? Instead, because people love puppies, right? So let's just kidnap puppies and make them into toys. So that's basically the premise of the game. So we are on a mission now to try and save our puppy family from becoming toys.
By not saving any of them.
I was just gonna say, unfortunately now in this category we don't actually save any of the puppies because it's slow. Every time you do save a puppy, and there's 96 of them in the game, I don't know where the remaining ones are because that only adds up to like 100 total. So we're missing a few puppies, but that's an entirely different story. But every time you do save a puppy, there's an unskippable cutscene. And unskippable cutscenes are slow, so unless we are doing another category called All Puppies, we're just gonna skip them, so I'm really sorry. But we will still get to the end, we will still defeat Cruella, and our family will be free, so it's okay, don't worry about it. We are still saving the puppies.
The whole family will be free, except for all the puppies that we left in the boxes.
It's fine. They'll be free, I'm sure.
Eventually they'll be fine.
Exactly. But the main movement tech we are using in this game is the roll. You're gonna be seeing me doing this quite a lot during the game because it's the fastest way to move. I will roll, and then at the end of the roll, because you can't hold it infinitely, I will jump. And then I will do roll again, and that's essentially the gist of the movements. That and trying to keep the lines as clean as possible and not hit any walls, because if I hit any walls, it'll automatically put me out of my roll, and have like tiny little cooldown before I can start rolling again. So that's bad. But we're coming up to one of the hardest levels in the game, which is early on, and this is Big Ben, so for this one, I'm just gonna try and focus and not make a fool of myself, and I'm gonna let Tofu do the explanation of what's going on here.
Yeah, no worries. So this is Big Ben. This is one of the easiest levels to kind of lose time on. It has very vertical kind of level design where just falling down in any one of these rooms can easily
like
kind of... Yeah, exactly. Can kind of ruin the run by putting you back to the start of the room where you have to start climbing up the towers again.
Well, oh, this is embarrassing. I usually don't do this bad. It's fine. It's not... It might not look like much, but what we're basically trying to do is jump over this fence, which skips, like, the rest of the room. There we go.
There you go. Good work. Yeah, so that's the fence skip. It basically skips about 20 seconds or so of actually having to traverse that room by just jumping over the fence instead. So in this room, whole point is to switch between oddball and domino. That's one of our easiest places to do it. And the reason we do that is because Domino, being voiced by Frankie Muniz, aka Malcolm in the Middle, he gets all the lines in the game. And so there's a unskippable cutscene during the second boss fight in which the makers of this game decided to give him a ridiculously long voice line. Whereas Oddball, who we just switched to here, says about 2 words and then lets us carry on with our day. So we figure that's a little bit faster to let her talk during that unskippable cutscene. All right, so this is one of the more dangerous rooms. All of the pillars that are rising and falling in the center there's some risky strats here to kind of jump more than one pillar at the same time. And doing, yeah, I saw after the fence earlier.
Yep.
You can easily fall down to the bottom of this room and have to climb back up the entire verticality of it all. All right, and finally we are on the very last room. This one kind of has the same ordeal. The gears in the center of this room are very slippery, and you know, all of these things together in this level just add up to being one of the most ridiculously difficult levels to like get pathing down correctly and not lose time on.
Oh, well, I didn't fall all the way down at least. And my elevator reset too, so I didn't get stuck. It's a good point. I was just showing off that this is dangerous. I did not actually make a mistake. It's fine.
Is a good demonstration of how dangerous this level can be. All right, good work.
Oh, we got through it. There's 2 levels in the games that are really scary and I need to focus on because otherwise they can potentially kill my run. That was one of them. The other one is, of course, at the end of the game because that's where you want your run killers to be. But now we have our boss fight. Fruit is Cruella's worst enemy, I guess, so we're gonna shoot pineapples at her. Do you want to explain the mechanic while I try to lock her in?
Yeah, sure. So this is a weird glitch that we found. If you ring the bell while she's stuck in her animation there, she'll get stuck again, and you can just continuously run back and forth between tossing a pineapple at her and ringing a bell, and she gets stuck in this infinite loop. And she's dead. Or I guess not dead yet.
Well, I mean, we're gonna run into her a few more times, but yeah. First boss fight done. And now we have a Collectathon, the Royal Museum. There's 2 of these as well, which is because most levels you can just run from the beginning to the end basically as fast as possible, but for this one it has like a bunch of objectives that you do need to complete. So the point here is that apparently someone has been moving around a lot of the exhibits in the museum, so we need to help Fluffy, which is the dog you saw me speaking to at the beginning, to help put everything back in order, and once we do that he will open the door for us so we can leave. So I'm gonna try and remember the order, but I think I have it down.
Yeah, Fluffy has essentially trapped us in this museum like a jerk until we help him. So if you have any
time for a quick donation,
it's a perfect time for a donation.
Oh, perfect. All right. Awesome. Well, we have a 40-pound donation from Kiva. Thank you so much for that. And a 100-pound donation from Tofu. It says, what a fitting game to start off such an awesome marathon. Keep up the great work. You're a super puppy. Also, the host has great hair. Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Is a super puppy.
Yeah, I am. That's a reference to one of the lines in the game, by the way, because if you do rescue the puppies, like we talked about, there is the unskippable cutscene, and they have a bunch of really funny lines, and one of them is like, "You're a super puppy!" So, it's a bit of an inside joke there. Yeah, we're almost done. We need to get... This one's a bit confusing. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, like, how do I know where to go? If you're playing this casually, there's actually cutscenes that show you where to go, but, you know, because we're trying to go fast, we skip all of those, so I just need to memorize where I need to go.
And thankfully there is cutscenes. I can't imagine trying to do this where it's just like, hey, explore the museum until you find the thing that I'm looking for.
Yeah, that would have been a pain.
That'd be miserable.
More movement tech, I didn't quite get it there, but if you do slow boost, which is basically a roll at a slope, you can get an extra speed boost that goes even faster, so it's kind of hard to notice most of them because a lot of them are optimized through like tiny hills and stuff throughout the game, like already in the first level I was using a bunch of them, That's another big key tech that we have.
It's as you exit. Oh, you gotta talk to Fluffy. As you exit a slope, you can begin your roll, and it will maintain the speed that you had on the slope while also adding to it with the roll, which makes it a lot faster to move.
So if you're wondering, like, wait, how do these levels make sense? Because we started in Regent's Park, which I think is pretty central London. Like, I'm not an expert in geography, but I think it is. And, like, we're slowly heading out of London. Like, if you pay attention to where we are. Right now we're in the underground. We're trying to leave the city, essentially. Because I guess Corella decided she wants to live in, like, I don't know, a mansion in the middle of nowhere or something. So that's where we're headed, essentially. Out of the city into her mansion, which is where our siblings are kept. And our family.
In this economy, you kind of have to buy the mansions outside of the city. The city mansions are going to be way too expensive.
True. So we need to kill these enemies to progress. So, I'm sorry, the toys need to go.
These boats are some of the worst enemies in the game. They have the aim of, like, gods. They will hit you from anywhere on the map.
I only got hit once there, so I'm pretty pleased. Alright, we're almost at the end of the level. This is another one that, if you're playing casually, this level can be a bit of a maze, but once you know where to go, it's pretty straightforward. It's not so bad. Like, I remember rushing down the slide so many times casually, but really you just need to go at the side and then you're out. It's all good. Alright. Trying to remember what levels come next now. I should know this by now. Carnival, right? I need to focus on Carnival.
Level. This is the level that Tali really needs to focus. I try to give Tali just as much time to focus on this level, as it is incredibly difficult to pull off these frame perfect tricks. So you'll see she's rolling here, and she's still rolling. She's rolling some more, and she's rolling, and that's the end of the level.
It's kind of a shame because I remember, like, casually as a child as well, Carnival was like one of my favorite levels. Like, it has these little mini games you can go around and do and, like, explore, and it's actually really fun. So I'm really sad that in the speedrun, especially this category, you just skip it entirely. But hey, if you want to do more of that level, you can do all puppies and you get to see at least a little bit of the level.
Yes, I personally, I feel all puppies is the canon version of the speedrun.
Oh yeah. So it was a really tricky jumping there that I did, and that's even with me skipping a really difficult jump that I just haven't mastered, and I don't think any of the speedrunners like doing it, so most of us were just like, nah, we're going around, because that log jump there is really hard.
Yeah, with the exception of probably the top 3 runners on the board, nobody does that jump. It is incredibly difficult.
But hey, puppies operate heavy machinery, right? I know mine do.
Always. Yeah. Like, my dogs have operated heavy machinery for years now.
Like, it's easy.
You just you grab a key and then you jump into and then you can operate heavy machinery. This isn't even the only time in this game that a dog operates heavy machinery. We'll see it once more a little bit later.
And I'll probably play that cutscene as well because, you know, marathon, it's fun. We're having fun. I want to show you my favorite cutscene in the game, but before we get there, we do have a boss fight, so I'm going to see if I can get this right.
So this is the boss fight that has the unskippable cutscene. You'll see Oddball talk here in a sec. This is also probably the only Corella fight that is, like, RNG is ridiculous. So that's the Oddball cutscene. That's the only unskippable cutscene in the whole game.
And if you're playing Domino there, he's gonna talk for much longer, so it's just better to be Oddball because, like, I think we almost got her! And then she's done. So.
Okay. That was a pretty good Corella too, though.
That was actually really good. That was nearly perfect. So I'm pretty happy with that. But now we're in Countryside. We're back to more levels where we can just make it through as fast as possible. This is another one that's kind of easy to get lost in, if you do it casually, but we know where to go, so it's fine. You know, we're not grabbing puppies either, so it's pretty straightforward right to the end. We have some slopes so we can boost off of, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's a lot of levels in this game that that just when doing all levels becomes a just a race to get to the end.
Like, look how fast that one is.
Yeah, there's not a lot of platforming on most of the levels in this when you're doing all levels.
Yeah, all puppies on the other hand, I don't like this level on all puppies. But hey, now it's Barnyard. Now we have another collectathon. So this is Priscilla. It's her birthday, and unfortunately for her, the farmer at this farm is kind of lazy, so he's just leaving all the tasks to her. So we need to help her do all the chores. And yes, I did take a bit of intentional damage here because this is a collectathon, because we have to go a lot of back and forth. I'm taking a little bit of damage to set myself up for a couple of death loops, which is going to help make this a little bit faster. Alright, so we need to turn on the water, is what we first did in the farm, and then the windmill is stuck, so we need to get that unstuck. But that's fine. We are a puppy, we can do this. We operate heavy machinery, we can do some farm chores, right?
I also believe that this is probably, in terms of just like map size, the largest level in the game, like of a single map.
I believe you might be right.
Because just this one area is pretty intensely large. Now we're headed over to put the chickens back in their coop, and these chickens do not like to cooperate. This is some of the worst RNG that you guys can get in this game. They really like to... Ooh. Oh, no. Yeah, they really don't like working with us.
Alright, it's fine. This is not too bad. As long as the last chicken cooperates, this isn't too bad. Oh, alright, there we go.
The ideal situation is to get 2 chickens on a single bark, because it really helps.
And that is the death abuse that I was talking about, because we take the death there so we don't have to walk all the way back. So, because if you die, it'll just teleport you in front of Priscilla anyway, so super easy to go, just hand in the quest and continue on with the rest of the chores. So now we have to find some, I think, tools at the bottom of the silo, so we need to empty the silo.
Yeah, the farmer misplaced his tools and then placed a bunch of grain on top of that. You know how you do it.
Exactly.
And so we have to empty the entire grain silo to find his tools.
And yes, that was also another piece of intentional damage, because we're going to be doing the same thing here. Once I have emptied the silo, I am going to take another death, so I get back to Priscilla. So don't worry, I'm not bad at the game. I'm doing this on purpose, I promise. No one probably believes me, but that's fine.
I was gonna play it up like you are actually bad at the game, but you're really good.
It's fine. Alright, it's there. Now we're back at Priscilla's, so we're gonna talk to her, and we're getting up to one of my favorite things in the game right now. Because we have an outhouse that we need to tear down, and to do so... Oh, it's fine. We need a tractor. So we're just gonna operate some heavy machinery again. Just gotta go grab the key. And then
there's a comment I really like. It says, "Don't worry, all dogs warp to heaven." I like that. That's a good one. Yeah. Now's our time to operate some more heavy machinery.
Yep, now I'm gonna let this cutscene play and just be quiet while it plays, because I find this dialogue hilariously funny, and hopefully I haven't nerfed my audio so much you can't hear it. Enjoy this. Because this is how dogs drive, right? You don't need steering wheels or pedals or anything, right?
Honey, there's a strange dog outside and it's riding my tractor across the yard.
You better not be drinking this early, or so help me, I'm moving back to my mother's house, and you don't want to see that.
Never mind.
That dialogue just tickles me every time. But here we go.
Classic
Return
girl.
to our house. Exactly.
Classic girl.
Also, fun fact, if I let this cutscene play, it spawns me here because I get pushed down in the cutscene. If I skip it, I still am on top of the tractor when I get out of the cutscene. I just find it a little bit funny as well. But yeah, we did all the chores. Priscilla's gonna be very happy, although it is her birthday. But unfortunately, we're going fast. We're not stopping to give her the present. The door exit is open now, so we're just gonna leave. Sorry, Priscilla, but happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, there's a secondary thing you can do where you can go grab Priscilla's birthday present and give it to her, but I mean, we did all of her chores for her. The least she could do is
We
walk
did.
a couple people to get her present, right?
Exactly. So now we went from luscious farmland to ice festivals, because that makes sense, right? This is like
This is-
token ice physics level. I have
Absolutely.
no other
Every
reason why this
90s
is here.
Yeah, every 90s / early 2000s game had that like one like either water or ice level where they're like, how do we make the game more difficult? And they're like, I don't know, add a slippery surface. And they're like, cool, but there's no realistic setting to do that in other than an ice level. So we're just gonna put in random ice levels into games.
It's fine. It was a burger, right? Oh no, I missed a burger. It's fine. It was a burger, right? Oh no, I missed a burger. It's fine. It's fine. I'll get full health at the end of this level. It's fine. I'll get full health at the end of this level anyway.
Hey,
so it doesn't
dogs
actually
eat
matter.
burgers too, right? There's
Hey,
burgers,
dogs eat
pizzas.
burgers too, right? There's burgers, pizzas.
Heal, I forgot all the healing.
Is there anything else you can use to heal? I forgot all the healing items are.
The steak.
The
yes,
steak.
The steak! Yes,
Steak,
that's right.
yeah.
That's
steak
how
burger.
puppies heal, by the way.
So
Pizzas.
that's how puppies heal, by the way. So if you have a dog and they're looking to be a little low in health, give them a burger.
Disney taught you so.
102 Dalmatians. Disney taught you so.
Thank you, Disney. Thank you, Disney. I will say that it's a shame that the
I will say that
it's a shame that the Summer Olympics are this year and not the Winter Olympics because Oddball would be such a good skier.
Yes. Alright, now that we're done with the token ice level, we're back in the luscious greens, because now we're at the ancient castle.
Again, if there's any more messages that the host wants to read.
Again, if there's any more messages that the host wants to read, now is actually a really good time
Actually,
for that.
Tali, I think you might have an tab open. There might be like you might have the stream open.
Don't think so. I don't think so.
I'll check on
No, I
this
don't.
now. I'll check on
No, I
this
don't.
now.
Not that I can see anyway. Not that I can see anyway. Hopefully everything's fine. I'm a bit worried now, but
No, that's good.
alright, cool. Well, I'm off to a great start. We have some moon physics I need to deal with here, and it can be really annoying to try to push me back, so I need to make sure that I roll when they hit. If not, I will get pushed back, so... Come on. There we go. Come on. Alright, we got it. There we go. Alright, we got it. Almost there. There you go. That's what happens if I don't roll correctly. There you go. That's what happens if I don't roll correctly. But that's fine. We have a
good
boss
win.
fight again. I'm gonna let Tofu talk for this one because there's actually a boss fight that I'm gonna try and go for here. Probably not gonna nail it because I have never nailed it at a marathon before, but hey, you know, maybe to the special, we'll see.
Alright, Corella 3, the most ridiculous looking boss fight in the game. We're launching pumpkins up this wall. There's a specific order we do it in so that we can lock Corella into a pathing. And if she gets locked into the pathing correctly, and that manipulation works, she will actually end exactly where we want her to.
I think I got it.
And then I think you got it as well. We'll see.
I did it! Yes!
Yay!
I did it!
Yay!
Yes! I've never gotten this manipulation at a marathon
First,
before. I've never gotten this manipulation at a marathon before, but now she's exactly where I need her to be at the end. And yes, I'm so happy. That saves like 7 seconds.
First trials, go.
First trials, go.
I'm sorry.
I am really happy about that. I'm sorry.
Alright, we're getting close to the end of the game.
Alright, we're getting close to the end of the game. We have three more levels before we have the final boss fight.
Beating.
So.
I got my boss.
You're excited. My heart's beating. I got my boss
We
minute.
have some labyrinths, so we need to get through first.
We have some labyrinths, so we
This one,
need to get through
I was
first.
so lost
This one, I was so lost when I was doing this casually. And then I started learning the speedrun, and I'm like, wait, you can use
I
those
didn't
trees
even
as
realize that at
shortcuts?
all. Playing casually.
I didn't even realize that at all, playing casually.
So much faster.
But apparently you can. It is so much faster.
Yeah, I think that was
Took
something
a lot
I
of
learned.
memorizing.
So,
Yeah, I think that was
Took a
something
lot
I
of
learned
memorizing.
like way after I had played a couple times through as well.
yeah, I was so lost playing this casually, like, I was debating looking up a guide to get through this. That's how
But
lost
it's
I
actually
was.
that easy when you know how to do it.
But it's
Now
actually
we're at
that
hedge
easy
maze,
when you know
which
how to
is
do it.
probably
And now we're at hedge
not
maze,
much
which
of a maze,
ironically
at
enough
least
is
not
not
in this
that much of a maze, at least not in this
straightforward.
category. It's pretty straightforward. So if you do all puppies or anything else though, it might be a bit more tricky, but that's fine. We're gonna make our way to the end as fast as possible. We do have a bit of RNG that we need to deal with at the end. It's one of the few beats of RNG. in this level, or in this game, which spawns in as it puzzles in as well. So spawns in as it loads in as well. So we haven't really figured out how to task it.
Yeah, the RNG for this specific thing is pretty odd. Rather than spawning in at the start of the level, it spawns in when it kind of pops into frame.
So like here.
You'll see it kind of pop in there, and so you can actually manipulate and go back and forth a couple times, and it will actually reset the entire all of the tiles at once, which is pretty interesting.
This was a rough start, but the last few pieces were actually pretty decent. So I'm not gonna complain too much about that.
It basically just picks a number between 1 and 3 and rotates the puzzle that many times.
Hey, look, we're now at the Deville Manor. We've made it. We're at her house. Almost, anyway. So now we're at her house. So now we just gotta make our way through and find, you know, what we need to get through everything. So this is another level that can be pretty confusing when you play this casually, but it's not so bad when you know where you're going. So we have a trick coming up at the end of this level. As well that hopefully I can get, which is basically another slow boost. But instead of like just rolling fast, we will need to do a jump. Hopefully I can get that. So hopefully I can get that. And not hit the puppy at the same time, because it's gonna lose me time. Alright. I'm so glad I stopped that roll because I noticed I'm so glad I stopped that roll because I noticed I was gonna hit the puppy. But I got the jump, so that was pretty good. Alright, last level of the game before the final boss fight, and this is another one that can be a huge run killer. It can potentially even soft block me, so I'm just gonna focus and try to not soft block while Tofu talks you through.
Alright, final level of the game. This has some really weird bugs to it, where you'll see these pressure pads coming down. There's some later in the level that will actually kind of squish from left to right, and if you get caught in between two of them, it'll actually force you into the ground underneath the level, and you'll soft lock and have to actually restart the entire level over again. It's incredibly frustrating because you can have a perfect run up to this point and then just be rolling as fast as you can, randomly push through the bottom of the level, and then you have to kind of end your run right at the finish line here.
I have had PvP's runs that have died on this level more than once.
I have also had the same thing.
I think I almost cried once when.
I think I almost cried once when like I was on really good time and it happened, and I was like just so devastated.
Oh, okay, we're good.
That's pretty close.
Oh, we're good. I was a bit nervous there, not gonna lie. But it's good. So yeah, what I will do on those crushers is essentially just try and keep to the sides, because the more centered you are, the higher the chance is of the soft block. And we have the worst one coming up right now.
This specific one is infamous for soft locking.
Right. Right.
And there we go.
And there we go.
Example
of
great example of exactly what
Never
we're
had
talking
that happen at a
about.
marathon before. But at first it had to happen sooner or later. Luckily though,
So
like
anyway,
if
this
this
is
was
the
a
last
PvE
level.
run,
This is Toy Factory.
it probably would have died.
This level's infamous for soft locking.
Yeah, so because it's a marathon,
Thank you.
because it's a marathon, we're just gonna quit out a level and do it again. Do you have any messages from the host? Because now's a great time, because we've just seen this.
And I do believe Tali's mic might have cut off here.
Mic might have cut off here.
Oh really? Oh
It
shit!
did
it
become
did.
muted.
I'll continue.
Don't know why, but I'm back.
I'll continue.
Don't know why, but I'm back.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I think as soon as
we've seen
you
this
soft
once,
block,
right?
Yeah, I think as soon as
we've
you
seen this
soft
once,
block,
feel
muted.
so since we've seen this once, feel free to read any messages if you have them, Chad.
We're good at the moment. I know there's a little audio problem going on. We're gonna check it here. The run's almost over, so sit tight.
I'm not having much luck with these crushers today. Like at all.
No, that was some rough RNG that you got. Very infamous level. It's a very infamous level.
This one to play safe. Because I need my safety health right now.
Yeah.
Can I catch up to this?
You might be able to.
No, it was worth a shot.
Oh well. Yeah,
It was worth a shot.
Yeah, it could have been close.
Alright, take two, let's go. Alright, take two, let's go. Please. Alright, we're good.
Oh,
We
good
made
work. Yay.
Alright, we're good.
Oh,
we
good
made
work.
it.
Yay.
Soft luck. Hate that
That's a
soft
rough
luck.
one, especially when you're
That's
on
a
good
rough
pace for a
one,
run.
especially when you're
Yeah.
on a good pace for a run.
It's
that
essentially
you
does
get
kill
that.
you run if you're going for it's essentially does kill your run if you're going for a PB pace, so
Oh, yeah.
now we have some
Excellent.
other tricky jumping coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have some other
Excellent-
tricky jumping
excellent
coming up, so
demonstration of
It's like
the
excellent
soft
demonstration of
yes,
the
that's
soft
exactly
lock,
what I
though.
was going for. Yes, that's exactly what I was
Yeah,
going
we
for.
got to
Thank
show
you.
everybody, we got to
Yeah,
show
I mean, we got to show everybody. We got to show them the manipulation for
Yeah.
Corella 3. We got to show them what
Yeah.
soft lock looks like in this
was really a
game.
demo.
This is really a demo more than like the
Exactly.
speed run.
Exactly. It's a showcase. Got the
Oh,
tricky
excellent.
dump though. Got the
Oh,
tricky
excellent.
dump though. Alright, so headphone users, if you have the volume high, be careful because the boss fight is kinda really loud, so I would recommend lowering your volume just a smidge if it's really loud right now. Because we have laser guns now, because of course we do. But yeah, I'm gonna let you explain Tofu while I try to focus on getting my cycle.
No worries, yeah, we graduated.
No worries. Yeah, we graduated from fruit to laser guns, which is the natural progression for anyone, any puppy to make. The fight kind of has three stages. The first is to take out those boxes orbiting Corella. The second is to take out as many of these robots as we can. They're kind of randomly generated, so hopefully we can get 3 in the first cycle.
Yeah, I'm
4
going
is
for
even
4.
better. Very nice. Maybe 5.
Also, time is coming up at the end of this boss fight, by the way, just a heads up on tech, we will call it. But it's at the end of this next phase, when it says 3 out of 3, and the top left is when time is
I'll
called.
call time.
So we're almost there.
I'll call time for it if you'd like.
Alright, thank you.
We're sitting behind this thing so that we don't.
We're sitting behind this thing so that we don't take damage while we're waiting. All right. And
Time.
Time.
102 Dalmatians, puppies. So that's 102 Dalmatians, puppies to the rescue. You got to see the boss manip that is really hard to do. You got to see soft lock, which happens every so often. You got to see me failing a couple jumps, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, yeah.
Thank you.
Where can they
so much
find you,
for-
Tali?
Thank you.
Alright.
very much
Alright.
for- Yeah, tell us what can we...
I always forget that. I'm so nervous. So my name is TaintedTali. My Twitch channel has the same name, so you can go find me there. I run this game. I run Alan Wake's American Nightmare. I'm planning to pick up a few more games. Basically, if you like retro, if you like horror games, then you're probably gonna enjoy the content I make. So stop on by. Tofu,
Sure.
plug
My name's
yourself as well.
Tofu8. I'm also a speedrunner.
Sure, my name's Tofu8. I'm also a speedrunner. I run a bunch of random stuff. Most recently, I'm the Hannah Montana the movie The Game world record holder. So that was interesting.
Very
That's a
competent.
name there.
It's a very, very competitive game.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, I know we had a little bit audio problems. Awesome. Well, hey, I know we had a little bit audio problems with the rum solid. You're always solid as always, Tali. We appreciate you being here. It's gonna be just fine. We do have the Fairly Odd Parents Shadow Showdown coming up next by Earl Grey, and also to remind you guys, our first donation bid war is coming up for Resident Evil 3 later on this afternoon/evening or morning, no matter where you are. So you get to pick between Jill's costumes and Carlos's hair. So I'll get in on that early. So we appreciate you, Tali. Thank you for running. We'll catch you on. We'll catch you.